Welcome to the Butterfly Effect, brought to you by Moss Adams. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 20 of the 2021 Tour de France. It's a time trial day, 30.8 kilometers in length, just under 20 miles. It's going to be a hard day in the saddle if you're trying to protect your general classification or if you're trying to win today's stage. Now, in stage 5 time trial, I said many times about how upset I was when you look at the domestique riders of different teams, Jumbo-Visma, UAE Team Emirates, particularly, and I'm talking about Brandon McNulty when he crashed and hit his knees because he was going 100%. There was Berg back there who was also going 100% on that stage from UAE Team Emirates, and I thought it was ridiculous. Now we're on the last time trial stage, and we're stage 20 of the Tour de France. There's no more mountains after today's stage, and we're just racing on the Champs. So today's a fantastic day. If you're a time trial specialist and you're racing for a GC rider and you're a domestique for a GC rider, today's a day you can go out there and go as hard as you want. Now, most of the field today, when they woke up this morning, they know the Tour de France is basically over. They can relax. They don't have to stress about today's stage. It's only 30 kilometers in length, so you can go out there, ride 90%, get the motor going, get the legs spinning a little bit, cross the line, make the time cut, and you're solid, and you get to start one of the most famous races in the world on the Champs tomorrow at the Tour de France, and you'll get to finish the Tour de France. It's a spectacular moment in any rider's career to be able to finish the Tour de France. So riders today, some are on vacation, some are taking it a little bit serious. Some of the guys that think they can win today's stage are going to go 100%, and I'm all in for whatever it may be that any rider wants when you don't have any climbs left on tomorrow's stage. Now, let's check about yesterday's stage real quick, because there was a lot of comments on the Butterfly Effect about Mark Cavendish and Deceuninck Quick-Step after I ripped into them. About the comments were left that, hey, they just needed a rest day. They're sprinters. They needed a rest day. Okay, there's not that many sprint stages at the Tour de France. There's 4 that Mark Cavendish has won. Tim Merlier, he won 1 on stage 3 that was crash-ridden, so they lost a chance at winning at stage 3. They gave up stage 13, which I might give you that might have been a difficult stage to control. I still think they should try. Yesterday was completely flat, and I already dissected it. Now, all you guys out there in the comments that put out there that they needed a rest day, sprinters are sprinting against sprinters at the end of yesterday's stage. They're all fatigued the same way. All those sprinters went over the same climbs. So when you're leaving comments as, well, they had to get over the climbs, they're all tired. All of those same sprinters had to get over those climbs. Sonny Colbrelli was even getting over those climbs racing for stage wins at 2 different mountain stages at this year's Tour de France. Sonny Colbrelli has a reason to need a rest day yesterday. The other sprinters, especially Mark Cavendish, who was intelligent through the mountains to drop off early and having Deceuninck Quick-Step pace him nicely through the mountains. Now I'm going to show you a video clip that was put up on Twitter about Mark Cavendish not having his bike set up exactly the way he wanted. He starts the stage, before the stage this is happening, and he's throwing his bike at the mechanic because the headset bearings are too tight and his steering's not working as freely as he would want it to. Now, anybody that's that intense before a flat stage starts and you have Eddie Merckx's record, and you've met Eddie Merckx at the beginning of the stage, and he's losing it this much on his mechanic, I gotta believe it wasn't in the plans for Deceuninck Quick-Step to give away yesterday's stage. In my opinion, Davide Ballerini got in that big break, and Deceuninck Quick-Step went with the most basic cover of tactics. We got a rider in the break. We don't have to chase. That break stayed off, and you guys all know the story. Now let's get back in today's stage, because Stefan Bissinger, EF Education, is blazing the course, and he'll come across early in today's stage with the fastest time. Casper Asgreen's back there, though, and he's starting soon. And Casper Asgreen's going good on the first time check, better on the second time check, and then absolutely blazing to the finish line to take the hot seat on today's stage 20. Behind him, Stefan Kuhn, the Swiss rider, is throwing out a good time, and he'll take the lead from Casper Asgreen on the first time check, but then tie it on the second and lose it to Casper Asgreen at the finish line. So Casper Asgreen's doing a fabulous ride on today's stage. Wout Van Aert, though, is yet to come, and when Wout gets on the pedals, he is flying. Guys, throughout this Tour de France, at the beginning, stage 1, he wasn't that spectacular. Stage 2, he went back into helping Primož Roglič. Stage 3, he was trying to win the stage, didn't help Primož Roglič, lost the stage and finished 15th, top 20th back there. Stage 4, couldn't win. Stage 5 in the time trial, he was getting better. And each stage after that, you could see his form coming better and better. So you know Wout Van Aert started this year's Tour de France a little undertrained, possibly because of the surgery he had to have the appendix removed. At the first time check, we know Wout Van Aert's going fast. By the second, he's going more than fast. He's blazing a trail out there on today's TT. By the finish line, he'll put himself in the hot seat. Behind him, Carapaz and Jonas Vingegaard are fighting it out for second and third on the general classification. Only 6 seconds separate them at the start of today's stage. Jonas Vingegaard is blazing himself. The little climber is absolutely flying out there and setting great times. He's gaining on Richard Carapaz throughout the stage. Carapaz, he'll fight all the way to the line, barely holding off Jonas Vingegaard back there, who finished 15 seconds behind him. They started with a 2-minute gap. Jonas Vingegaard just blazed today's race. When he crosses the line, he's third behind Casper Asgreen. Still out on the road is Tadej Pogačar, Tour de France race leader. He's taking it careful and easy, though, backing off through the corners and holding it steady. He'll cross the line in 8th place on today's stage with a little fist bump, giving Wout Van Aert another stage win at this year's Tour de France. Guys, Wout Van Aert, to put this in perspective, last year he won stages against green jersey wearer Sam Bennett, who we know was fast last year. Caleb Ewan he beat last year in the sprints. This year he went second to Mark Cavendish, then won Mont Ventoux. Now we get to the time trial and he takes first place on the stage. This guy is absolutely amazing. There's no end to his talents. Tomorrow's stage, the final stage in this year's Tour de France, Mark Cavendish going for number 35 to break Eddie Merckx's record. He's going to have to battle against a Wout Van Aert. And Wout Van Aert has just gotten better and better throughout every stage at this year's Tour de France. Mark Cavendish has got to be the odds-on favorite for tomorrow's stage, but Wout Van Aert has got to be the wild card. If anyone could take the win away from Mark Cavendish, it's Wout Van Aert and Jumbo-Visma. They're here with only 4 guys left. So Mike Teunissen is going to have to be something special in the last 700 meters or 500 meters on tomorrow's stage for Wout Van Aert. But look for Jumbo-Visma with Mike Teunissen and Wout Van Aert trying to do an ambush against the Deceuninck Quick-Step train. It's going to be a great stage tomorrow on the Champs. I hope you guys have enjoyed the butterfly effect. I'll be back again on Monday. I won't have time to shoot the butterfly effect after tomorrow's stage. Hope you have enjoyed the last 20 stages of the butterfly effect and the 2 rest days from Beyond the Coverage, and I'll see you guys real soon on Monday.